Turkish President Recep Erdogan was in Nigeria on a state visit. Before coming to Nigeria, he was in Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana. After the visit to Nigeria, he proceeded to Guinea to wrap up his visit to Africa. The visit aimed at deepening Turkey's strategic partnership with Africa and developing relations with members of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. President Erdogan's visit spearheads a drive to expand Turkish presence in Africa. Turkey has more than tripled the number of embassies it has in Africa since 2009, while its flagship carrier, Turkish Airlines, has dozens of destinations on the African continent. Bilateral trade between Turkey and all of Africa is currently worth $23.4 billion as of 2014, while bilateral trade with sub-Saharan countries has increased tenfold since 2000. Our focus on the program today, Diplomatic Ties, is taking a look at President Erdogan's visit to Nigeria. What is the economic implication of that visit? Anytime soon, will Nigeria have a benefit out of it? Mostly with the paradigm shift of diversification of the nation's economy. My guest on Diplomatic Ties today is the former ambassador of Poland, Samuel Wodi Jimba. Welcome to Diplomatic Ties.
My pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Ambassador Jimba, a former permanent secretary in the government of Nasarawa State, and is also a library and information scientist. Once again, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
My name is Omini Odan. These and more and other issues on the program, focusing on Turkish president visit to Nigeria after this time out. When the Turkish president was to visit Nigeria and he arrived giving a state reception or what have you, a lot of Nigerians were concerned. But for the essence of this program, what do you make of that visit?
I think it's important for us to begin to situate these visits. Turkey is a developing country like Nigeria. Its economy is just beginning to boom, and it has not been a colonial power. So when you have South-South cooperation between countries, the good thing about it is that you will find that Nigerian companies will be able to invest in Turkey, and Turkish companies will be able to invest in Nigeria. So it's not just a one-way driven visit. It's a two-way driven visit, whereby opportunities are created for Nigerian businesses to operate in Turkey, as well as opportunities are created for Turkish companies to operate in Nigeria. So within the context of a South-South development agenda, I think the visit is quite important and it's good for our country, most especially now that we are diversifying our economy, knowing that oil is not going to be sustainable for the good of our country. So in various aspects, it's important for us to see how Nigeria can begin to sell itself outside its shores. If you have a visit from the President of America, for example, it will be Americans are coming to invest here, you know, they are bringing their money, nobody looks at the other side of the coin, that Nigerians are also supposed to be provided opportunities to invest in the other country. And I think that's what the visit of the Turkish president is all about, and it is quite encouraging. Okay.
In my opening, I talked about the fact that he's been to Guinea, he's been to Ghana, and his focus basically was the West African region, and it's also targeted at relaunching itself, Turkey relaunching itself back into the African continent. What really are they looking at?
Well, two things.
And how will that add to deepening the ties between African countries and Turkey before we get back to Nigeria?
Yeah, two things. In 2009, there was the Turkish African Summit that took place in Istanbul, during which about 49 countries attended, and discussions were held between Turkey and African countries about investments, about trade, about business. In 2013, there was also this African Union Summit in South Africa, in which Turkey was specifically invited to come and promote itself to the African countries. And so, as you know, Turkey wants to project itself as one, a business destination for African countries, and also as an alternative business partner to African countries. Why will they do that? First, Turkey is placed in between the northern parts of Asia and the southeastern parts of Europe. So it has this advantage of having experience in the Middle East, Asia, and in Europe. And that experience has made it to be a force to be reckoned in various aspects of business and development. Africa is generally a virgin land in terms of industry, in terms of business. So a lot of these companies are saying, oh, we can set up here, the labor is relatively cheap, the raw materials are here, because of course there's no raw material you are looking for in any business you can't get in Africa. So it is to the competitive advantage of most of these countries to be in Africa. And I think Turkey has realized this.
Back to Nigeria, a lot we want to ask, but why come to Nigeria? What's the big deal?
Of course,
let me ask.
Nigeria is the business destination of Africa. If you are not in Nigeria, then you are not in Africa. One, Nigeria has the biggest economy. It has a very, very buoyant middle class. Of course, the middle class is always the purchasing class. The very rich people can fly their planes to anywhere in the world to go and do their shopping and come back. But the middle class, if you have a good, buoyant middle class, I can assure you that that is the purchasing strength of every economy. And the Nigerian middle class is growing, and is growing very well. Secondly, our GDP is the best in Africa. Okay. Our growth rate is between 5 and 8% per year. That's fantastic. All right? We also are the business hub of West Africa. You set up your company in Nigeria because of the ECOWAS protocols. You can export your goods to Ghana, to Gambia, to all the West African countries. So, and whether by sea or by road. So you find that Nigeria is such a fantastic business destination that if you want to be in Africa, I think you have to start from Nigeria. And I think that's what the advisors of the president of Turkey realized and told him, you better go in quickly before it's too late. Okay. So he had to come. And of course, I know that, but for example,
in Latin, is the market really exhaustive?
Exhaustive like how?
I feel it is only exhaustible, so they shouldn't be in a hurry to come.
Well, but you see, the sooner you come, the better. Going back a little bit, Turkey's trade volume with Nigeria as of 2014 was $1.2 billion. Out of this, Turkish exports to Nigeria was just 325 million. The rest, 800 and something million, was Nigerian exports to Turkey. So you can find that by coming, actually, Nigeria is at an advantage because the trade and business treaty was signed with the president, our own president, and it opens up, opportunities for better growth. In fact, the Turkish president said, look, Nigerian businessmen, come to my country. Come and open up shop. So I believe that a few of our companies will take advantage of it.
But we have not really seen the steam yet. So what advantage will it be if really we diversify the economy and we go headlong with Turkey?
Look, there are many countries that don't have oil, and they are doing very well. Turkey has a lot of expertise in agriculture. And if we as a country now can export some of our products to that country, or get their companies to come here and help us to develop, move away from sedentary agriculture, this small one-person agriculture.
Subsistence.
Yeah. Rather, we move on to not too big, large-scale farming, but at least medium-scale farming. I believe that that will be an opportunity for us to be able to also have inroads into the Turkish economy. So I believe that right now, the advantage is skewed to Nigeria. And if Nigeria can leverage on this advantage in the next few years, we will be developing our economy. So I don't want to see this visit only from the perspective of the Turkish president coming to Nigeria. No, it is about the opportunities that to create for Nigerian businesses to expand their horizons. So that's the way I'm looking at it.
Will it in any way also help to jack up or appreciate the strength of the naira against the dollar?
Of course, the reason why the naira is taking a battery now is simply because Nigeria is not making the kind of money it's supposed to make.
From exports?
From
imports?
No, from export. Yeah, because for example, our oil is not selling at virtually $30. And so when you, and this is the, like you say, mono economy, that's the only source of foreign exchange for Nigeria. And if you don't export more goods in order to make more money, then of course you have to, the foreign currencies will be in short supply. And in the market, it's a matter of supply and demand. A lot of Nigerians do businesses outside the country. If the country is not making money, in order to meet up with this demand, the value of the naira will continue to be battered, no matter who is in office and who is not in the office. Forget about the politics of it. The simple fact of the matter is that Nigeria doesn't have enough forex. Okay. And, well, it's okay. Nigeria may, you know, the president says he's not going to devalue. I leave that to his economic team. I wouldn't argue with them. But they need a lot of naira.
When I weigh the relations between two countries, whether they are of the same platform economically or scientifically or technologically, there's always this thing they say, win-win, or win-lose. Mm-hmm. Will you say Turkey-Nigeria ties is a win-win or a win-lose relations?
Well, for me, it's a win-win relation, actually more to the advantage of Nigeria. Really? Because if you look at trade relations between Nigeria and Turkey,
I thought some people said they need us more than we need them.
No, I think they also need us.
Do we need them more than they need us?
I think we all need each other. Okay. But I know that Nigeria needs to have opportunities that are available in Turkey. There are certain areas that they have competitive advantage, and there are certain areas that we also have competitive advantage. But that's why I said, in the context of a South-South relation, not a North-South relation, this is a fantastic relationship that Nigeria must leverage on. Nigerian businesses must leverage on. Because if we don't, then how do you think that we are going to grow our economy? Our economy must be export-driven now, not consuming things from other countries.
By the next part of the program, we'll be looking specifically into the bilateral agreement reached between President Muhammadu Buhari and the Turkish president. But let me just come off the box a little bit. Some feel that all this engagement by Mr. President is just one of those jaw, talk without action. What's your opinion?
If you don't
looking at the Turkey, Nigeria,
if you don't sell yourself, nobody is going to buy you. Okay. In the international relations. I mean, how do you sit down, lock your door, lock your office, and expect somebody who has money to come knocking on your door? You have to go out. You have to, you know, market yourself. Nigeria is a fantastic business destination. Good as that may be, if you don't bring in people and also go out to advertise yourself, no, other people will take the place. Everybody is looking for business. Everybody is looking for investment. And so if you don't do it, other people will do and get it and go away. So as far as I'm concerned, it is not a problem that our president is marketing Nigeria, whichever way you see it.
So what will you say to those who are critical of it?
Well,
some persons are critical of it. They
don't
seem to see anything good about it.
When you are in public space, you should allow yourself to be criticized. There's nothing you can do about it. No, look, Jesus Christ was he not crucified? Muhammad was he not stoned and driven out of Mecca? There's nothing. You see, those who criticize, allow them. But what I don't want is when you criticize from a faulty perception. When you criticize from a constructive perception, fine, no problem. There's no way that you will be in the public space and people will not say one thing or the other.
Okay. If you're just joining us, the program you're watching is Diplomatic Ties, and our focus today is on the just concluded visit or let me say the recently concluded visit by the Turkish president to Nigeria and the aftermath. And our guest on the program has been former Poland ambassador, His Excellency Samuel Wodi Jimba. More will come your way after this time out on the program. Stay with us. You're welcome back. Shortly after his engagements in Nigeria, Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari led his guest to address the media on the outcome of their engagements and other meetings the President of Turkey had in Nigeria. Let's take a snippet of what transpired, then we'll continue the discussion.
The Memorandum of Understanding just signed now on trade and economic cooperation and on industrial cooperation with others in the pipeline in terms of energy and security is just the beginning of what we have in the pipeline. Our officials will continue to draw the MOUs and we will subsequently sign them.
I encourage Turkish business people to make investments here in Nigeria. I'd like to call on Nigerian business people to make investments in Turkey. We are ready to extend all the support that we can to them.
Mr. President said he was very concerned about the issue of insurgency, the issue of job creation, and to revitalize the nation's economy in building more ties with Turkey. Moving on, any hope, any progress?
Yes, quite a lot. If you look at the bilateral agreements that were signed, they were basically on trade and industry. Of course, the other one is terrorism, which we can deal with later. But in addressing the press, both of them realized that, look, we are not signing an agreement that will export Nigerian oil to Turkey. No, it's about other sectors of the economy: construction, agriculture, manufacturing. These are the three basic areas that I saw in that agreement. And these are the areas that this government is focused upon. Agriculture, for example, a lot of intellectual work is ongoing about how to engage Nigerian youth in agriculture. And the minister is already putting in place certain policies that immediately the budget is passed are going to be implemented. Now, Turkey has come and said, look, we need your agriculture. Please either export agricultural products to us or come and establish large-scale farms. Turkey has a fantastic agricultural setup. And I believe that Nigerian agriculture can benefit a lot from that. Construction, industry. We need to revitalize our industrial sector. A lot of it is comatose. Energy. I believe that I haven't really gotten too much of what they said about energy, but you know, energy is a challenge in Nigeria.
They didn't really hinge much, but the issue of industry was also of a concern. And now, my worry is, where's the meeting point now? If they have an advantage over us, how do we benefit?
You see, it's not in every case that when you do a relationship with somebody, it must on equal basis.
Okay.
Now, for example, in industry, they've been, because they are close to Europe, their industrial sector is very developed because they have to manufacture goods according to European standards. In Nigeria, we don't have those standards. So if their industry will come into Nigeria, they are going to modernize our industry in such a way that our industrial products, goods and services will be of standards that are acceptable anywhere in the world. For example, we have a car manufacturing company in Nigeria. Under normal circumstances, I'll name it, but it's not for this. If we are able to get a Turkish car building company to come and partner with the Nigerian car building company, I believe that the products that they will produce will be better, both for the Nigerian market, the West African market, and for other clients. So these are the areas in which an advantage from Turkey will also dovetail to a build-up of the Nigerian side of it, while an advantage in the Nigerian side will aid the build-up of the Turkish side of the business. So it's not in every area that we are at 50-50. There are areas in which they have advantage, and there are areas in which we have advantage.
So it's not left for the economic space now, the business people and whatever, to ensure that they tap onto it and move on.
Yeah, of course, the role of government is to provide an enabling environment.
Okay.
General thinking worldwide now is that government should divest itself from the petty issues of business, trade, construction. No. Okay. Leave it for the business class.
Do you think the trade desk of the Nigerian High Commission in Turkey has a role to play here?
Absolutely, because in all embassies you will have the economic officer, and the economics officer role is to market Nigeria to your country of accreditation. Of course, that's one major business, one major activity of all embassies now, economic diplomacy. Okay. It's not, we are tired of saying, bring goods to Nigeria. No, we want Nigeria to be a net exporter of goods, okay, a net exporter of services, a net exporter of industry, a net exporter of various things. So I believe that the economic desk in the Nigerian High Commission in Turkey will definitely leverage on this visit and organize maybe trade delegations, trade fairs, and various activities in Turkey that will expose, one, the Nigerian business people to advantages that are available, or opportunities rather, that are available in Turkey, and also expose the Turkish population to what Nigeria can offer. I believe that the embassy or the High Commission will deal with that matter effectively.
Okay. I want to allow you to go without this question. This of Nigeria-Turkey now, within the space of about 182 days in office, Mr. President has been to close to over 12 countries, globe-trotted.
It's not globe-trotting.
I'm not saying, I'm taking from that perspective.
Okay, it's all right.
People say it's globe-trotting, diplomatic mission, some say it's a waste. So from your own perspective, is it a waste?
It's not a waste. It's not a waste at all. One, in various aspects, you can see that there is now a general confidence of investors or businesses coming to Nigeria. And not, you see, the good thing with the present administration is that they are not just attracting business or trade or industry or whatever into Nigeria. Every trip he goes with a large Nigerian delegation of business people. Because we are also interested of not being just a dumping ground, but also going to influence other economies. Because that's the way you can make a statement for yourself. And so Mr. President is doing what within the context of his own capacity he's doing to market Nigeria. And every president have, faced this kind of chit-chat. Every president. They will always say you are traveling too much. But you cannot sit. As president, you cannot sit in your office and market your country. Nobody is going to listen to you.
So those guys just have to patient and watch out the results.
Well, if they are there, they will do the same thing anyway.
Okay, beautiful. So, anytime soon, we expect to see a lot of dividends coming out of this recent visit by the President of Turkey?
Yeah, I think in two ways, yes. The Turkish embassy in Nigeria will definitely have to now organize some trade delegations from Turkey to come to Nigeria. At that level, it's no longer a governmental thing. It's a B2B, business to business. They should be able to arrange a group of business people in Nigeria, serious-minded business people, not traders, who will partner with the Turkish, their Turkish counterparts to create businesses and employment in Nigeria. And when I say create businesses, I mean establish businesses. We don't want a situation where you are manufacturing in Turkey and bringing to sell in Nigeria. That's not it. Also, the Nigerian...
It now becomes the other way around.
Yes, the Nigerian High Commission too in Ankara has to, whether they like it or not, organize business delegations from Nigeria. Because nobody is going to sit in Ankara and say, come and take a piece of land and build your industry. You've got to go there, tell them what you can offer, find partners in Turkey, and connect with them, and then you can establish them.
And do genuine business.
And do your business.
Genuine business, not just any kind of business, right?
At that level, I don't think the issue of, once the embassies are involved,
Okay.
you can be sure that it will be genuine.
One last word for Nigeria-Turkish relations in the next future. Future.
I think the future is very rosy. I think the future is very good, and I think that Nigerians generally and Nigerian business people should begin to reorient themselves to saying that when you see the president of another country come to Nigeria, he comes with businessmen. Please make linkages, make connections, and once they go back, follow up. And once you follow up, I mean, things will change, and you will see that there will be employment generated, a lot of things coming out of it.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Ambassador Samuel Wodi Jimba, former Nigerian ambassador to Poland. Call him a politician, call him a career diplomat, seasoned technocrat. He has said it all. For those who never knew, you get to know on this program that the aftermath of the Turkish president's visit to Nigeria is just invaluable. We only just have to watch from what he has said that anytime soon, the benefits would start trickling into the country. Once again, thanks for being on Diplomatic Ties.
Thank you, my pleasure.
And we hope that with your wealth of experience, we'll get to bring you on board again to expound more, or maybe very soon, on issues between Nigeria and Poland.
That will be my pleasure.
That's it on the program today, Diplomatic Ties. On behalf of all of us on the team, bye-bye for now.